We were lucky to be in the same workspace as Decathlon. So we were able to hit 10,000 visitors a day from 50 to 100 within first year.
In any performance marketing campaign, it always starts with understanding what exactly is the objective. So you can't go and drive sales from day one.
We are able to add 10 CR, 20 CR profits to these publications, but within like 2 years. Even Amazon came to us asking like, how are you guys doing it?
We throw these terminologies like ROAS and CPA and CPC and all of that. For people, for a business to understand it, it will be a little bit easier if you could explain what are the key KPIs they need to look forward to.
So you have an app and you want to run campaigns for it. App installs, quality of installs, retention rate, all these come in a picture.
Say that happy birthday to you, and that will be the subject line, and when you go inside there will be some product awareness that comes. Yeah.
Open rates is one metric that you look at. But ultimately, if you want a channel to succeed, it needs to drive revenue.
This is our version, marketer's version of we
listen and we don't judge.
I usually schedule my emails either for early morning or super late night just to create an illusion of I'm working all the time.
What are some of the things that you guys do and these people don't know?
I can't think of anything.
It's too good.
I am back with another episode of Behind the Brand Buzz, and for that we've come to Bangalore. Bangalore, being the tech capital of India, is known for a few things, right? The first one is obviously it's the tech hub with global tech giants like Wipro and Infosys having their roots here. And the second one is this is home to many of the innovative startups, especially in the field of SaaS and deep tech. And the third one is this is almost like a home ground for investors who are flocking to fund the next big idea and to keep the startup ecosystem thriving. So these are the three things that Bangalore is known for. I am going to take you to one of the hidden gems in the crowded field of digital marketing agency. And for that, we are going to meet the team Growth Hackers. We are going to deep dive into the journey of Growth Hackers, a team of amazing marketers who are making waves in performance marketing. We're going to sit down with the entire team and talk about their secrets to success and also uncover what are the digital marketing strategies that are shaping the future. Let's go. Hi Sandeep, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Sandeep, thank you for doing this with us. We have released 4 episodes and all of them have been majoritively like a creative agency kind of a thing.
Right.
And here we are excited to talk a lot about performance marketing at Growth Hackers. So thank you for doing this with us.
My pleasure.
Okay, so first tell us the story, how Growth Hackers started and what's the story behind?
Right. We are primarily a performance marketing agency. So how we started, basically, we wanted to create a budget or affordable performance marketing agency, right? Right now, if you look at it like 10 years back or so, performance marketing agencies are very expensive.
Correct.
Right? If a brand wants to go for it, then you have to shell in like a lot of bucks. So that's where we came into play. We wanted to create something more affordable. So that's where we started Growth Hackers. So currently we offer services like PPC, SEO. We also started doing AI related stuff.
Okay.
Because we do a lot of data and experimentation, and AI at the stage that it is right now, and the way it's maturing, I think it will play a pivotal role in digital marketing and also in a lot of other fields. So we started doing a lot of AI development as well. Along with that, we generally do performance marketing and web development as well.
Okay. How difficult is it? Because normally in a creative agency, if you go, so there's an advertisement that's coming out or something on the social media, buzz happening and all of that. But to strive in a performance marketing as a USP, how easy or how difficult it is?
So I would say performance marketing is a bit more boring. Right? Creative agencies will have a lot to show as such.
Correct.
We generally work on data.
Correct,
right?
Yes.
We are more towards, I would say, data engineering than creativity.
Correct.
Obviously, creative agencies also use a lot of data, but we are more towards data than creativity, I would say.
Right. Okay, got it. And can you tell us about one of your campaigns that was very popular or something that's very close to your heart for a few brands that you have done?
I'll give you 3-4 examples.
Sure.
We'll start with B2B. The company is called Universal Robots.
Okay.
A very good brand to work with. Great team. So what they do is they have collaborative robots, right? So what collaborative robots do? They automate the repetitive process in the manufacturing. So they wanted us to find B2B companies that would be interested in taking this. This was back in 2018 when collaborative robots are pretty new for India, right? So we would tried multiple channels. We tried to figure out what would work for them. We experimented a lot of things. One example I could give is these collaborative robots are very expensive.
Correct.
So companies will not invest in it unless they see that their competition is already investing in it and they don't want to obviously miss out on it, right? So we tried to identify what are the companies that are already using it, tried to go to those categories of industries and try to target them. That worked really well for us. That's one of the things that we've done. So overall what we've seen is the conversion rate has improved from 10% to 30%. What they were doing initially, they were just trying to reach their network and trying to get as many leads as possible. With digital marketing, we've actually increased their scope, their target audience, right? I think the number of leads increased by a lot, and also the conversion rate actually improved. From even the networking that they were doing, they were getting 10% conversion rate. With marketing, they were able to get 30% conversion rate, which is pretty good for a B2B company.
Okay, what were the channels you were using and what was the media assets and how did you play it out?
We were using LinkedIn.
Okay.
We also used Meta for remarketing,
Okay.
and we were using Google as well.
Okay.
Display ads, etc., where we are trying to target people who are looking at B2B industry related blogs,
Right.
or reading those magazines or looking into business related stuff, which is very relevant for what our client does. So Decathlon initially, when they started building a big team in India, we were lucky to be in the same workspace as Decathlon. So we got in touch with them.
Okay.
We started with blog. So they were doing blog,
Okay.
right? But they were not getting a lot of traffic. I think they're hardly getting around 50 to 100 visitors a day or so.
Right.
So they wanted us to tackle that issue. What we noticed was they're reusing content that is being created for Europe or other markets.
Okay.
Right. So that's the first thing that we tackled. We tried to create content just specifically for India. Right. I think the numbers that we achieved were we were able to hit 10,000 visitors a day.
Okay.
From 50 to 100 within first year.
Wow.
So that actually gave us their main website mandate as well. We started working on their main website also, and I think we've showed 2x growth there as well.
Okay.
And Decathlon itself is like a really large site.
Correct, yes.
With a lot of traffic already coming in.
Yes.
So I think 2x is a significant
Correct.
traffic for them as
Yeah.
well, right? The other I would talk about is affiliate marketing, right? So initially, probably like 6-7 years back, mostly NDTV has been doing it with Gadgets 360 and all. Lot Many tried but did not work out.
Okay.
Right, so we've started collaborating with few publications, some of the biggest publications in India.
Okay.
And we've we pitched the idea saying that we'll be able to add this much revenue to you guys.
Okay.
And we started working with them. So we've done so well that we are able to add 10 CR, 20 CR profits
Okay.
to these publications, but within like 2 years.
Okay.
Even Amazon came to us asking like, how are you guys doing it? Can you guys like take small courses or of sorts
Okay.
for our affiliate partners? I mean, we did not do it because we are creating those solutions for our clients.
Correct.
But yeah, that has been a really good growth story for us.
Okay, okay. So when performance marketing is majorly reliant on, like you said, data and numbers and all of that, so let's say a creative pitch would be much easier for you to convince your client saying that, yeah, this is how we are going to put it in the ad and all of that. But what is your convincing strategy? Because you said, I'm going to increase it. You are giving a number to the client, and for you to increase it, how do you come up with that idea? And you already have a plan on how do you expand it. Tell us about your secret sauce behind the scenes.
Right. So how generally it works is we obviously have some experience working with clients, and we understand like, okay, this specific industry, probably we can do these numbers.
Okay.
And if it's very new industry, then we clearly tell them that, okay, we'll have to try and see what happens.
Right.
There is no magic formula that works for everyone.
Right.
Every industry is different. Every customer is different.
Right.
Right. So if we already have data, we can tell that, okay, this is what we can achieve.
Yes.
And this will be the time frame that will take. But it's not always the case.
Correct.
So yeah.
Okay.
There is no magic bullet.
Okay, so you also have this trial and error thing. It will be if it works this way or that
Yeah,
way
yeah,
with the
they-
media sets, with channels and all of that, and finally you arrive at okay, this is what works. And now maybe for every industry you have a standardized templates, a standardized thing that okay, maybe this will work and this will not work. Is that how it
It's
normally
not that easy at all.
Okay.
If only it was that easy.
I'm trying to get that secret sauce from you.
But there
So
is no
it's
secret
easier
sauce. You just have to
Okay.
keep doing it. So
Okay.
we obviously know like what generally works, what
Okay.
doesn't work.
Okay.
So those experiments, assume that there are like 20 experiments that we have to do.
Okay.
Right, and we do it and we try and look at data and try and understand. Okay, these 3-4 experiments are working.
Right.
These are not working.
Right.
And we keep building on that.
Right.
It's like a never-ending process. It keeps happening every day.
Okay.
Right. So I'd like to talk about one more brand, which is a D2C brand that they are only selling on Amazon. It's called Stronger Me Nutrition. They are into diet and nutrition. It's a very new brand, probably like 1-year-old brand.
Right.
So it's a very competitive space, diet and nutrition, and on Amazon it's cutthroat competition.
Yes.
The reviews matter, the ads, where you're placing it, and all this matters. So within 1 year, we are able to get them Amazon's choice, and also we are currently on regular basis we are doing 6 ROAs. So that's a really good number for a new brand, especially
correct.
that's just probably 1 year old.
Yeah, correct. Okay. Thank you so much, Sandeep, and it was very insightful. Now I am going to talk to Nitin and understand more about what performance, because you threw out a lot of words for our audience,
Right.
and I'm going to sit with him and break down on what every word is, and if there are any tricks that he can tell us for businesses and all.
I think he is the right guy for you.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, Nitin. How are you?
Hey, I'm good over you.
I'm good. Nitin, this episode I think is going to rely on you a lot because
Okay.
Sandeep showed us a very fancy version of performance marketing, telling how growth hackers have been able to achieve such drastic number for a decathlon or for a strong nutrition kind of a brand. So now you need to break this down for our audience. First, let's start with what is performance marketing?
Right. So performance marketing is a subset of digital marketing.
Yes.
So performance marketing focuses on measurable outcomes.
Right.
So it's very result driven. So for example, with performance marketing, the focus will always be on, let's say, app installs or conversions or leads, these kind of outcomes. With traditional digital marketing, there's a lot of focus on brand awareness, reach, and impressions and all of that. But yeah, I mean, with performance marketing, these outcomes are the focal point of the conversation. And I mean, I generally tell my clients this one thing: with traditional digital marketing, you're paying to be seen.
Yes.
But with performance marketing, you're paying for the results. So yeah, I mean, that's the difference.
So now we will talk more intricately about performance marketing. So for that, I think I'll give you an example. So let's say there's a fashion brand and they've just started out and they are very eager to be seen on social media. What they normally, every brand would do is start posting Instagram reels of making the content and all of that. And they would also know that, okay, let me put out an ad and click on that boost button that's there on Insta and magically the traction is going to come in and my brand is going to be seen by everybody, but which is not actually true. So there are a lot of optimization that happens behind the scenes. So if you were to do the performance marketing to increase their, sales and awareness and all of that, how would you go about it? Let's start from the crux and go forward.
Right. So in any performance marketing campaign, it always starts with understanding what exactly is the objective, right? For example, you can't go and drive sales from day one, right?
Correct.
You need to, if it's a new brand, you need to build that awareness up, right? And then you push people down the funnel where they ultimately convert.
Yes.
So what we do is we figure out what should be the ideal strategy, right? This strategy will include what is the budget that we have, right? How should it be broken down in different campaigns? What are the kind of outcomes that we will measure for each campaign, etc. Once we do that, that is when we come up with the copy, the creatives, etc. We start the campaigns, right? Once we start the campaigns, that is where we start looking at how do we test out and how do we improve results, right? So like you mentioned, people if they're starting a brand, they just go click the boost button, they magically happen, or they hope for things to happen, but that doesn't really happen. So yeah, I mean, generally what happens is boosting is to improve reach for the creators or social media posts that you put out. For ads, there's a completely different setup altogether. That is where we come in a picture. So once we have these campaigns ready, we launch it. We then start looking at how are people responding to your brand, your products, and the campaigns that we're coming out with. we will be able to uncover it from data what is working, what is not working. Based on that, we start figuring out what do we test out, right? So, for example, if we identify that certain campaigns with certain kind of creatives resonate better with the audience, then we understand that okay, this is one thing that works for our audience. We start to launch new campaigns with it. We spend more budget for it, so that whatever is working, we are spending more. Whatever we identify is not working out, we then optimize it till we get to a point where the campaigns are performing.
Okay, got
So
it.
that's what happens.
Okay, so you're talking about optimizing it. At this point, I think it's important we talk about KPIs because we throw these terminologies like ROAS and CPA and CPC and all of that. But for people, for a business to understand it, it will be a little bit easier if you could explain what are the key KPIs they need to look forward to. Say, let's say that they are launching the ads and they're putting it out on the ads manager, they are allocating a certain budget to it, and then they're doing the testing and the creative asset is ready and it's all pushed out. Okay, so they have all the description and everything. Target audience is set. So now the optimization is the major part here for that ad to work. So you need to shed light on that.
Right.
So generally what happens is any campaign that you launch, there are certain key metrics that will be constant for any campaign, any industry, any business.
Correct.
Right. So for example, when you launch a campaign, how many clicks are you getting? What's the impressions? What's the reach? What's the clicks? Right. All of these will remain standard for every industry.
Right.
So these metrics we look at to try and understand from like a high level if the campaign is performing or not. But post this is where we get into business outcomes, right? So, for example, if it's an e-commerce brand, that is where what's your ROAS, which is return on ad spent, right? How much money are you getting back for this money that you're spending? That comes into picture. What is your average order value? That is, on average, what is the value of the total orders that you're getting? Then we get into lifetime value of a customer, which is how long a customer remains with you, how much do they end up spending in that time period. So this comes up for e-commerce. These are the kind of metrics that we look at. But depending on other businesses, other metrics also come into picture. For example, if let's say you have an app and you want to run campaigns for it, app installs, quality of installs, retention rate, all these come into picture. The cost per install that you're getting. If it's a B2B company, number of leads, cost per lead, quality of leads, how qualified is it, MQLs, SQLs, these metrics also come into picture. So depending on the industry, the metrics keep changing. But yeah, certain metrics will remain constant for any industry.
Okay, got it. If there's a B2B, obviously the LinkedIn works better. But is there optimization that happens at the channel level in itself?
Yep.
Like you experiment with creative assets or optimizing the KPIs? Does it happen at the channel level? Can you talk more on that?
Right. So generally what happens with marketing as a whole is nothing really remains constant, right? Things change from company to company, industry to industry, even product to product for that matter as well, right? But yeah, generally what happens is we've seen in certain cases where, like you mentioned, a B2B company, we've seen Facebook perform much better than LinkedIn, right? Which generally doesn't happen, but yeah, sometimes it does happen. So what we do is we don't go into a client or we don't go into any strategy having these certain assumptions.
Right.
We look at trying and testing out anything and everything. That includes everything on the creative side, that includes the audiences, but at the same time that will also include the channels as well, right? If certain channels, what happens is you might get better results at like a lower cost. For example, with the B2B client that I was talking about, the Facebook as a channel worked better, Meta as a channel worked better because the number of results that they were getting, leads that they were getting from Meta came at like a much lesser cost. LinkedIn was 3x more expensive.
Okay.
So for them, from like a cost perspective, Meta worked out much better. Right. And the sales team was also really good. So they went out and they closed.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, these changes will tend to happen. But yeah, I mean, that's where we start with certain channels that we believe will work based on our experience, based on industry benchmarks. Once we have traction coming in on these channels, then we start trying out other channels in the mix. Then we see which is working, which is not working. Based on that, we figure out certain channels will work, start pushing more budgets into that.
Right, got it. So for a business to start out, is there a to-do list? Okay, I'm starting out a business and or maybe I'm in mid-journey, but I'm not able to get that level of traction because I'm doing what everybody else is doing, posting and expecting things to happen magically, which is not going to happen. So is there anything that will happen, that the business, like a handbook kind of a thing? Okay, you start a business, this is the first thing you need to do. Second thing and third thing, and optimize it later. So can you give us a to-do list for a business?
Right. So generally what happens is I think most business owners right now are smart enough that when they start the business, they would have thought through in terms of what is the value that the product adds to the users, what kind of audiences will be able to drive the most amount of value out of it. So these are things that we need to get started with. So generally what we do is we first sit down with a client, we try and understand their product, we try and understand what exactly does the product do for the audience. This is going to be the crux of it, because anything in marketing is going to be in terms of getting people in front of your product and working towards getting that conversion or working towards getting that lead or install. But ultimately, the product needs to be good enough, product or service needs to be good enough for that conversion to happen,
Yes.
right? So, understanding the product or service, the value it gives to the users is going to be the point one. Once we have that, that is when we start looking at who is your audience, create personas of this audience, right? You will have, for any product, you will have multiple personas. Understand about the persona. Once you understand the persona, then you will have a clear picture in terms of how do we reach them, right? So, for example, if you are an e-commerce brand and you want to reach college going students, you can understand, okay, where does college going students be active on? They'll be active on Instagram, they'll be active on YouTube, etc. You identify these channels. Once you identify these channels, then we get into the conversation of now how do we reach them, right? This starts with what kind of efforts, marketing efforts are we going to put in, what kind of budgets do we have to reach them, and once we have this, then we come up with the strategy in terms of how should the campaign be structured in a way where we reach them, talk about who you are, talk about the product, service that you have, and then push them down the funnel where they convert. Right now, by pushing them down the funnel, what I'm saying here is not like I show you an ad and you'll go buy immediately.
Yes.
Right? You will see the ad, you will get to know about the brand. As you keep seeing the brand in multiple places, you start trusting the brand more, right? And then comes in the testimonials and things like that, where you get to see how similar audiences are using the product or service. That builds another level of trust. And finally, with like an offer or a discount or something of that sort, you push them towards converting.
Yes.
Right? So that's how the funnel is, and this is what we figure out during the strategy. Once we have this, come up with the copy, the creatives, be as creative as possible here, because ultimately, if you're not creative enough, you can't stand out. Once you have this, then you launch the campaign, and then let data talk for itself. This is where you look at the KPIs, which campaign is giving us good ROAS, which campaign is not giving us good ROAS. Then you try to debug, right? If it's not working, why is it not working? If it's working, why is it working? Answering this why is very important for us to figure out how do we go moving forward. And once we've understood the why, then if something is working, you can start pushing more budget into it. You can come up with more campaigns that have these elements that will work. If something is not working, then we try and figure out why is it not working, and we keep changing it. So, for example, if we feel that the headline is not catchy enough, then we try out with a different headline. We'll see if that is working, right? And generally what happens is, with our experience, we will know certain things will work, certain things will not work. But yeah, this A/B testing process is going to be a continuous process, from when you start till when you stop campaigns, which will never happen for a business.
Yes.
You'll always be A/B testing.
Yes, there's a myth that for performance marketing, you need to have like a larger budget and only like a bigger company could be able to do. But even with a smaller budget, you can achieve that level of traction. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a myth. It doesn't make any sense. Generally, what happens is startups tend to get the most value out of performance marketing, because generally for startups, if you're not crazily funded or something,
Yes.
you will have limited budgets and you will need to get the most out of the budget that you have. Performance marketing as a concept is that, right? Get the most from the money that you're spending.
Yes.
If you're spending 1 rupee, if that 1 rupee doesn't turn into 2 rupees at least,
Yes.
then it doesn't make a lot of sense for you. So yeah, I mean, that's every company, no matter your scale, can always use performance marketing.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nitin. It was very insightful. Like I said, I think this is almost like a mini masterclass for our audience. So we wanted to get all the basics cleared first, so that we can, dive deeper in another episode on performance marketing. And thank you so much for doing that.
Absolutely. Perfect. Anytime.
We are here for our signature Mythbuster segment, and I'm happy that both of them are going to contribute for this segment. So we're going to start with the first myth. The first myth is open rates are the best measure of email success. So what is your take on it?
Right. That's not true. Open rates is one metric that you look at. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, if you want or channel to succeed, it needs to drive revenue. So revenue is the ultimate metric that we look at. But yeah, open rates, reply rates, all these are steps of the funnel that you have to look at to see if you're seeing drop-offs anywhere.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if you only focus on open rates, then you probably won't be driving a lot of revenue.
Right. And also, rightly, a lot of people are actually trying to optimize their titles too much, right? Going towards clickbaity side of it. It obviously will increase your open rate, but they might just unsubscribe, or they might not even understand, okay, title you put something else, and body is something else, right? So what I think works is, obviously there are smaller commitments. You open your email, then you read the email, then next commitment is click on it, go to the website and take an action, right? So they have to, you have to give at every step like specific thing for them to take next action.
Okay.
Right, I think so. Everything matters a lot. Every step of the way, right? It's not just about getting them to open it and like deal that. So I don't think that works. A lot of people tend to do that a lot.
And it's also being promoted a lot. I don't know why, but a few marketers also promote it. Like, so, if you have this.
We achieve 30%.
Yeah. You just
Right,
there are some suggestions where they were like, say that happy birthday to you, and that'll be the subject line. And when you go inside, it'll be some product awareness that comes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't fool the audience.
Yeah.
With open rates, that's the thing, right? You can fool the audience and you can bump up your open rates, but that doesn't lead to anything, right? Ultimately, you need them to take an action which is going to drive you some revenue. They should convert as a lead or whatever it may be, right? That outcome is where the focal point should be. All these other things are things that you can just look at to see if it is working well or not. But ultimately, if that outcome is not coming through, then all the other metrics, no matter how good it is, doesn't make any sense to the company.
True. Got it. Okay. So the next myth is marketing automation is just about sending scheduled emails.
Again, so it comes from a fact that that's the easiest thing for people to do, right? People set up emails and they assume that, okay, marketing automation is done and they move on with their lives, but that's not really the case. It was at one point, but right now there are so many channels that your audience is active on, right? You have emails, you have WhatsApp, you have a lot of different channels. So it's all about engaging people across multiple channels so that you have a holistic sort of a approach and you get better results. If you only focus on emails, then you're only doing one part of the pie.
Got it. Okay.
And also with AI in the picture, lot of the automation could change. Like what all you can automate before and now is very different. Right now we are looking at AI tools, what they are doing, and also we are trying to build a small thing in-house as well. And the more we see, the more we understand that almost everything can be automated. Obviously, AI is not as good yet, but at the rate it's going, I think we'll see some very good improvements in automation.
Okay. Thank you, guys. This segment has been fun, and actually, we are going to move to the actual fun segment after this. So I hope you guys join me in that segment as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So we are here for the fun segment with the Growth Hackers team, and I have the founders here and also the entire team along with me. We're going to play the marketers version of we listen and we don't judge. And I know you guys have already played it, but you can't repeat the same thing. You can't play it safe. So this time we have to come up with something new, and I'm hoping for what Sandeep and Nitin have to say. Okay, let's start. So we'll start one after the other. So we'll start with we listen and
we don't judge. I usually schedule my emails either for early morning or super late night just to create an illusion of I'm working all the time. We listen and we don't judge.
I once asked a client for their file feedback just to buy a bit more time. We listen and we don't judge.
I just added a pie chart to my presentation because clients love data-driven decisions. We listen, we don't judge.
I have posted an old video as a throwback because I was out of ideas.
We listen and we don't judge.
I use technical jargons just to impress the client in a meeting so that it sounds a little strategic.
We listen and we don't judge.
Okay, they are proving what marketers do actually when we advertise and we sell some product. Okay, what do you guys have to say for this? What are some of the things that you guys do and these people don't know?
I don't know, I think the sending emails late in the evening, that happens.
Okay.
I can't think of anything.
It's too good.
Or maybe you don't want to tell it, or
We don't judge.
So before the shoot started, you were saying we are going to listen and judge every bit of whatever everybody says. So I don't know how far it's going to be true. Okay, so that is about the fun segment with the Growth Hackers team, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And this is our version, marketers' version of we
Listen and we don't judge.
Did you enjoy this episode of Behind the Brand Buzz? Because I absolutely did. Performance marketing has been a big buzzword for the longest time. I'm so glad that Growth Hackers team have been able to break down the basics for us. And for the next episode, I have another amazing digital marketing agency which is going to dive deeper into performance marketing. And for that, you need to stay tuned.